uses to turn. What's that called in the car? Understeer, right? The car is understeering. Now, how do you get a car that is understeering because it's going too fast, too much weight on the front, tires turn, and they just lost grip with the ground and they're just sliding forward? The only way to get them to turn is to slow it down more so that the grip returns and the car turns. So how do you fix an understeering car into a turn? You stay on the brake and you wait for it to catch and then it turns. Normal human being reaction, right? God, I'm too fast. Holy crap, more brake. That is why every single car today in the market is made to understeer on purpose. Because the average driver out there, not us, we're not the average driver. You drove 4 hours to come drive. What the hell is wrong with you? Isn't that what you hear at home? I've been hearing it for 20 years, so I know. So the average driver will react to, I'm too fast, I gotta slow it down, I gotta stay on the brakes, even more brakes. And yes, eventually we'll stop and turn. An understeering car is a lot safer car for an untrained driver. It's not as much fun, but it's the safest way. Now let's look at the other way around. You're coming in, you're staying on the brake, you turn the tires, and the tires say, okay, I still have enough grip to carry the weight that you asked me for, to slow down the car and to turn, because I'm so good. Fine, so I'm going in. Those rear tires are saying, this is fun, man. All the weight of the car to the front, all the work of braking to the front, and the turning is up there. What am I doing? Remember when I said if you were not in Physics 101, wait, you weren't paying attention, you're in trouble? Well, what's happening here is that those tires, where you're coming in here, and the fronts are starting to turn the car around, those rear tires are saying, that fellow sitting in the back seat of the car, I think his name is Isaac Newton, said a body in motion stays in motion in the same direction unless a force was acted upon them. Those tires have no force acted upon them because they have no weight on them. And they were going that way. Guess what? They're going that way. That's where you're spinning. So when the car spins into a turn, it's not because you got an old car, because the suspension needs improvement, because the track is bad. No, it's your own damn fault. Why? Because your right foot was on the brake as you turned. All the weight was in the front of the car. How do you fix that? Here comes the problem, and this is why the instructor is an idiot. Because the instructor knows the problem is the rear one has no weight on it. And that's why they're going to start going around. So the instructor says gas because he wants you to transfer weight to the back. The only way to transfer weight to the back, get off the brake, even a little gas, suspension comes back, the rear end gets stuck to the ground and has no choice but to follow the front. That's exactly how you fix that. Scary as hell. It's so anti-natural. So against preservation. You're like, are you stupid? I need to get on the gas. This is ridiculous. But yeah, that's the only way that fixes an oversteering car. That's why things are so different here. Now, the first time you do this, and you finally actually get on the gas a little bit when the car is sliding, and it catches and turns, you're like, this actually works. But believing that and doing it takes a long time because it's so hard to figure out, no, this idiot doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, guess what? That idiot's in the car with you. He wants to preserve the car. You don't want you hitting the wall. By the way, a little side thing here. Driving etiquette on the track, if you're going to hit something, your side of the car, not the instructor. So anyway, you're starting to get the idea of why being smooth is so important. Because if you're not transferring those weights at the right time in the right places, your car's going to be like that. That's why the smoothest driver is the fastest driver, because it transfers everything back and forth rapidly and at the right time. This is why the instructor keeps telling you, one job at a time, brake in a straight line, get off the brake, now turn. And as you're unwinding your wheel, now you can get on the gas. The best way you connect all these three events together, and instead of making it three different flavors of cakes, braking, off brake, turning, off turn, gas, off turn. And you make them a slight flat curve because you transition from one to the other more progressively. The more those little patches are going to let you, the faster you run. Back to it being smooth makes it the fastest run. Is it easy? No. Because out there, your brain is screaming at you. And that's why you don't brake right, you turn it too early, and you get on the gas too soon. One of the things that staying on that single gear throughout the whole track is very good, especially if you drive a very powerful car. Since we get on the gas too soon and too hard, that rear end wants to come around when you get too much gas. Now because you're giving it so much power that the rear tires will break loose from the ground. And they will oversteer because of too much power. Now it's called power oversteer. That's different than the braking turn oversteer. In order to avoid that, if you're in a higher gear that you need on that turn, you're going to put a lot less power down the ground. It's going to be smoother coming out. Another good reason to drive in a single gear for the whole track. It's less busy and it allows you to be a smoother driver to begin with and just learn new things. So let's go over the braking part. And again, I said physics. I'm not going to do equations because I'm terrible for that. I'll just do little graphs. Many of you have seen this before when I do this. Let's compare to the street driving, and that's the problem. We're used to street driving. We used to do things the way we do on the street. So how do you brake on the street? 300 yards away, 400 yards away, the light turns red. You're driving along, significant other in the car with you, you have your shake and your latte. You don't want to be accused of being a beast. You start slowing down nice and easy. You take your time, and you brake, and you brake, and you brake, and you stop. Proper and nice way to do it on the street. How much braking capacity you used on the car? 2%, 3% of the braking capacity of the car. But that's the way to do it, to be nice and smooth. Then you come to the track, and you say, oh crap, I'm driving too fast. I'm going to do it, I got to brake harder, so I'm going to use Brown to illustrate the Brown Stevens thing. You say, I'm driving way too fast, I'm going to need to brake a lot harder because I'm coming in really hard. So according to you, you brake a lot harder. And then comes the OS moment. Oh crap, the turn is here and I'm still to the end fast. Now you really get on the brake. And then, oh crap, the turn's coming, I gotta get off the brake so I can turn. This is how you're braking right now. So, what's the two problems with braking like this? Well, number one, you're braking a long, long distance. What are you doing with that? You're heating your brakes. You're creating friction. The brakes are then heated. And back to physics. Liquids are not compressible, but gases are. You're boiling the fluid on the calipers of the brakes. Now you have foam in there. When you step on the brake, that pedal starts getting really mushy and really soft. Why is that happening? Because you're boiling the brake fluid, and now you're compressing gas instead of compressing fluid. You keep doing that all day, one of those times you're going to get onto a braking zone in a turn, and the pedal's going to go all the way to the floor, and you're going to have no brakes. Talk about a Brown stick. So, number one, you don't need to brake that long. The problem is you're braking way too long, but not enough. And now you realize, oh crap, I need to brake harder. That's fine. The problem is, what have you just done to that suspension? At the very moment when you need it stable before you turn, you just went kabloom and then back off again. Your suspension is a spring. Does it come back to neutral from here? No, it doesn't. It starts doing the wave until it normalizes. So now you get off the brake, your suspension is up and down, and you're turning. Your front tires are going skinny fat, you know, weight on, weight off, weight on. No wonder the freaking thing feels horrible on the turn. The tires are struggling, trying to figure out where the weight of the car is, and you're asking them to turn. The car's all over the place, and you have no idea why this is happening. Because you didn't. That's why. So what's the better way to brake? And that's where it gets really ugly. The better way to brake is, number one, to wait a lot longer and brake in a shorter distance. Scary stuff, sphincter tightening stuff. Because you see the turn coming and you're still not. That's why if you take a ride with your instructor, you'll see that. You'll never forget that first ride with your instructor. Holy crap, this guy's still on the gas and the turn's coming, we're gonna die. But then all of a sudden the car stops and turns and you're like, wow, I can believe it happened like that. So how do you do this? You brake a lot later than you're supposed to. Remember, smooth and transition weights and progressive. You want to get on the brakes late in a very short amount of time. Get on the one really hard and then come off of them progressively. Ideally, you never have the same amount of pressure applied to the brake at any given time. So you're compressing the suspension, decompressing the suspension, but by the moment you get off the brake, since you did it nice and smooth, instead of the suspension doing this, it's now stable. You turn the wheel, damn thing feels good. It's going exactly where I'm telling it to go. Go figure. Smoothest driver is the fastest driver. Again. And this is the braking thing. Is it easy to do? No, of course. Again, no, because your brain is screaming at you, come on, you idiot, get on the brake. So you're dragging the brake for 400 yards and then realize, oh shit, I'm not braking enough. And there we go. So this is how braking should be. Same thing with the gas pedal. Once you're unwinding your wheel, you slam on that gas pedal, you're gonna get in trouble. Now, if you have a Miata, don't worry about it. Step on the plug and nothing. However, any other car with some degree of horsepower, you may actually get the rear end loose and get in trouble. So you need to progressively apply the gas pedal, same way. And as you unwind your wheel, you get on the gas. In some places, imagine that you have a string attached from the bottom of your steering wheel to your right toe. As long as you're turning, that's pulling your foot off the gas. As soon as you do this, your foot can go down. And that should be the combination of on steering and gas. Finishing one job, starting the other job. The smoother that transition, the faster you become. Those four features will like you better. No mystery here, because it's easy to do. It's a real pain in the ass. Very hard to do. That's why, as I keep telling you, the only thing that needs improvement in the car is you. The car doesn't need a new turbo, it doesn't need better suspension, doesn't need track tires. It only needs one thing improved, that one little nut that sits between the steering wheel and the seat. That'll be you. And that's the cheapest part, because all it requires is more track time. That's all there is to it. So when you go out there next time, think about those things. You're already working with your instructor on the entry point and the apex and the exit point and making the turn straighter and all that good stuff. But how can I apply all that if I'm not controlling the car properly? And this is the better way to control the car. The instructor also, you'll notice, and this happens all the time, everything is coming at you so fast, you're reacting that way. You go out with the instructor, and the instructor drives you around, and it looks like he's out for a Sunday drive. It's like, he turns the car, and you're like, what the hell does he do that? For the instructor, everything is happening slowly. And you only get to that point by doing a lot of practice, getting used to the speed. When you're used to the speed, everything slows down. I don't know if you've seen this television ad. It had me laughing like crazy. Mario Andretti is driving an Indy car with a passenger seat in the back. And Mario's out there and he's driving, he's going 200 miles an hour around Indy. And he's looking at the grass growing and he's listening to nice music. And the girl winks at him from the bleachers and he's having a great time. The guy in the back who's never been on the car is sitting there going, ah, I'm gonna die. That's exactly the difference. Mario is used to that speed. You're not. The experienced driver is used to that speed, and after a while, we end up having time for everything. Now you got time to look up.